Hi everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Sweet Skein of Mine. My name's Amanda. I'm coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and this is a podcast about knitting. Projects that are on the go, stuff that's finished, things that I want to talk about regarding knitting. And I'm trying this one on my iPhone. I know that the past 2 podcasts have been really dark and grainy, and I don't think the yarn's kind of showing up, like especially all the pretty colorways that I've been showing. So hopefully this is better. So, and thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I appreciate feedback, good or bad, because I'm not techie and this is all really, really new to me. I'm not even on Facebook. However, yeah, so feedback is good. And thank you for all the nice comments on Instagram and the private messages. I appreciate that. So if you're joining me again, welcome back. And if you're new, then yeah, we could talk about some knitting. It's Friday and it's freezing out. It's like minus 21 and I'm really stuffed up. It's not a cold. I have these crazy allergies going on right now, but I get tested next week and find out what's going on. Yay. Last night I went to my very first knitting Christmas party. My friend Nancy got 6 of us together and oh my gosh, we had so much fun. We got there and did some knitting, had some drinks, and we played games. I love playing games. The first one was like a trivia game and it was so much fun. It was like knitting trivia, Christmas movie trivia. Yeah, we laughed our heads off. One of the girls, like if there was a number question, a lot of us were kind of on the same page, like had a number in the ballpark. Like let's say we would guess 50 and the next person would guess 55 and the next person. Anyway, one of the girls would be like 2,000. Anyway, it was funny. Maybe we just had to be there. You know who you are. And because she watches. But yeah, so much fun. So yeah, we just kind of hung out and it was so wonderful being with a group of like-minded ladies that talked about, projects and knitting and just we kind of all had that discussion of how meditative it is and super zen. And then we did like a gift exchange kind of thing. Nancy had mentioned everybody bring a gift and it can be knitting related or not. And so everything was bagged into one bag and then we all got something and it was so much fun. I'm going to show you some of the things I got. Well, here's one right away. I get a skein of the new opal yarn. And this isn't the color I got. We all kind of did a switcheroo, but I'm a pink girl. And actually one of the presents was a bracelet. And she got me a pink bracelet. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Oh, and these stitch markers. A couple of the girls that were there, ladies, had just been in Amsterdam. And they went to Stephen and Penelope's yarn store. And look what we got. Stitch markers. And their bicycles. I guess in Amsterdam, that's like, it's a crazy big thing. Everybody's on bicycles there, so. Isn't that awesome? I'm actually going to give one of these to one of my girlfriends, Jane. She's a huge cyclist, like a Trek ambassador. She doesn't knit, like furthest thing from a knitter, but I think she would like to have one of these. Super cute. So that, and speaking of Stephen and Penelope's yarn store, we also got a drawstring project bag. Isn't that awesome? It was so nice for them to be in Amsterdam and pick this stuff up. And 2 more project bags, all drawstring, which I love right now because I'm catching my yarn in the zipper and I'm scared. I'm going to end up breaking it or having to cut it. Like, oh, if you don't watch Stress Knits, it's a podcast with Stacy. I love it. It's one of my favorites. She had to cut yarn because it was caught in the zipper, but like pretty stripy yarn. Here's another project bag. Pink, that one, and I got this one. I like this one, Canadian. And, oh, and we got a pattern. I get the Vertices Unite. My friend Leslie Jane and I were saying we want to make this, so there. New Year project. Anyway, it was such a fun night, and I was happy to be part of it. So thank you, Nancy. You were the hostess with the mostest. It was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll mention what I have on. it's like I said, it's so cold, but I made the scarfy thing. It's a free pattern on the Hedgehog website. And it's literally just one big scarf that you can use all your scraps with. So I had bought a few unicorn tails, the Madeline Tosh unicorn tails from Espastrico online. I've never been, but I'm gonna get there. Oh, wrong side. So yeah, it's so pretty. I love it. I get a lot of compliments on this, and it couldn't have been like an easier project. It's all your scraps. I used, I did have to open up a new skein. Oh, and most of it is hedgehog fibers. However, I did the Homespun House Coffee and Donut Mini Club 1 month, and this is one of them. So I was able to use up all her minis because I didn't really have anything in mind. So that bottom section there is a Homespun House. What else? I think there's definitely more. Oh, there. That one. Yeah. And I should mention maybe a finished product. So last time I was talking about this yarn that I bought, this Serpentina Manos del Uruguay hand-dyed, hand-spun merino. So, oh, I love it. This yarn is perfectly, like, beautifully imperfect. Like, look, it goes from like little tiny parts to like bulbousy. So what I did was a cowl, and you can see all the character in it when it's knit up. I just did a simple 1x1 ribbing. I think I cast on 110 stitches, and just yeah, it turned out really cozy and pretty. It's so soft. I love all the colors in it. So I'm really happy that I did grab 2 skeins of it, because I think what I'm going to do with the second skein is a pillow, but like not a full pillow, just the front, and maybe do like a back linen, like a gray linen or something. I just think that would be really, really pretty. So I'll probably wear this today because it's freaking freezing out. So there's one finished product and another finished product, which I'm going to count as Christmas knitting because I didn't really do any more Christmas knitting. But I finished these socks. My Nomadic Yarn Twisty Sock in the Starlight colorway. They're all done. They're so pretty. So I've decided to gift these to someone special. I won't say who because they might watch this, but. And then I've got this massive, like a whole lot of yarn left, which will be good for my Cozy Memories blanket that I'm kind of into. I put it down a lot. So there, 2 finished products. And I don't know what I'm going to cast on next. I got to get that Hayward done. I did finish another a sleeve, and I'm starting the second sleeve for my Hayward. So maybe next week I'll actually have it on. I'd love to have it finished. Yarn porn time. What I got? The Fleece Artist. They did a celebration of Canada turning 150, and did a national parks collection, like for all the provinces. Well, 13 of them, yeah. So like provinces and territories, and anyway, beautiful. These were really hard to get a hold of, but I ended up getting this at Knit East. I got the Bay of Fundy one, Fundy, New Brunswick. So the color just represents what the park is kind of all about. Yeah, really pretty. And there was other colorways that I actually liked better than this, but I wanted to get this because we took, Dan and I took the kids to Fundy this summer. I have 2 teenagers, a 15 and a 16-year-old, and any parent of teenagers can appreciate this. It's really, really hard to get any time together, but one day they said, yeah, we'll go with you for a day trip. So we went to Fundy, and we went to the Flower Pot Rocks. We went for a hike and saw beautiful waterfalls and had a picnic. So yeah, I really wanted to get this because it was kind of one of those memories that, and I think I'll do a pillow out of this now that I'm thinking of it. Anyway, it's pretty. So Dan and I were, yeah, we felt happy. I'm going to let my dog out because he's just going to bark. Yeah, Dan and I felt lucky to be able to get the kids and scoop them off together. Dan is my significant other. Is that what I mean? I don't know. I'm 44. I don't like saying boyfriend, but he's my guy. Yeah. I was widowed when I was 38, like 2011. Very suddenly and tragically widowed, and never thought I would have a partner again, but I'm so lucky I do, and his name's Dan, so once in a while you'll hear me maybe mention his name. So anyway, yeah, so Dan and I were happy to scoop the kids up and go for a day trip, and that's my yarn porn. It's beautiful. What else? I guess I could talk about my yarn for a minute, sweet skein of mine, because I actually have something knit up. This was, it's not an old knit. I did this for my daughter's birthday in November, and knitting for a 15-year-old, I'm kind of limited because she's so not into sweaters, or I don't know, maybe socks. She might like socks, but I did a hat for her. And I did this out of my elephant shoes colorway. And if you say elephant shoes, if you mouth the word elephant shoes, looks like I'm saying I love you. So I knit this up for my sweet daughter, Sarah. And it's the beanie hat, the slouchy beanie hat. I forget what it's called. And I got the fake fur pom-pom at Cricket Cove. She opened it and loved it. It made it so worthwhile. I wasn't sure if she'd like it or not, but I don't know. I'm gonna get all staticky. But I like these slouchy beanie kind of hats, and it looks adorable on her. That was not a good move. Staticky. So yeah, and actually I sent one of my favorite podcasts is The Grocery Girls with Jody and Tracy, and I sent this to them, and they showed it on their podcast, and it made me so excited. Actually, the funny story is I was in the hospital. Like I mentioned, my allergies. It's like anaphylaxis. So I'm in the hospital, hooked up to like IVs and like almost sedated with Benadryl. My crazy dog. Anyway, and hooked up to a heart rate monitor. And Dan's sitting there, bored probably, because I mean we were there for 5 or 6 hours watching. I don't know. I think he was like this at one point, just watching like the heart monitor, and it was pretty pretty quiet. So I get a text from my friend Michelle, and it's saying, "Oh my gosh, the Grocery Girls are talking about your yarn right now." So I'm reading it, and Dan goes, "What are you looking at? Because your heart rate just went like out the window." So yeah, Jody and Tracy, if you ever for some reason watch this podcast, you guys like made my heart race. That was funny. So elephant shoes, yeah, and they liked this colorway too. I was glad that they talked about it. It was pretty exciting. Oh my God, that crazy night in the hospital. Poor Dan. At one point, I fell asleep. I don't even know if I should tell this story. I'm going to. I fell asleep. Let's just say I was super relaxed, and my body like was super relaxed, and a big bad noise came out of me. And poor Dan was sitting there. I was mortified. I think that was more traumatic than going into anaphylactic shock, was making that great big awful noise in front of Dan. Maybe I should edit this. I don't know. I gotta be quick. I gotta go to work. I dread going outside. Anyway, so elephant shoes. And I have a few of these in the shop. It's just a pale gray base. It's pretty tonal. And it's got flecks of like fuchsia and hot pink and mustard and lime green. Definitely one of my favorites. I think I'm going to do a Madewell out of this. I don't know. One last thing I thought I would maybe talk about was one of my favorite notions, because I had to use it this morning because I had to finish that afterthought heel to have my socks complete. But I ordered this from Espastrico, and this has come in so handy. It's like a cheat sheet to the Kitchener stitch. So, I mean, once I get going, I can get back into the swing of the Kitchener stitch, but it's just so nice to put in front of you and have it just to kind of keep going back to make sure you're not forgetting. I don't know. It just saves me from going on YouTube and looking it up every time. But yeah, so if anybody's looking for something like this to have in your notions bag, I recommend this. The Kitchener Stitch Cheat Sheet. I think that's it. I've got to head to work, and then I have another Christmas party tonight with all my girlfriends, like a different group of girlfriends. Not one knitter. I'm the only knitter, but some old friends, and we have this tradition of getting together and exchanging a present and having drinks and yummy food together. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be another fun evening, no question. So anyway, if anybody has any comments or suggestions, please go ahead and pop them in the comment section, good or bad. I'm up for taking some criticism for what people want to discuss, or if there's projects that you want to share with me that maybe I should be doing with some of this yarn. I don't know. But so Vertices Unite, that's going to happen. I've also decided to not use that Truffle Hunt Brooklyn Tweed Loft for the Granito. I'm going to make another Madewell. I just, you know what? I like cardigans. I don't like pullovers. I don't know. They don't fit me through the boobs. I just feel, I want another cardigan. So I'm going to cast that on this week. Hopefully have my Hayward done for next week. And of course, start some socks. I need to try a new sock pattern. I know. If anybody can suggest a sock pattern that's not too difficult, so I don't cable yet. New year, I'm going to learn how to cable and brioche. So if anybody has any suggestions of a sock pattern I should try that's not too complicated, I'm definitely all about the afterthought heel. Yeah, but I'd love some ideas. So anyway, I hope everybody's going to have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're all doing something that you love, whatever your passion may be. And encourage others to enjoy their passion. I think that's always important too. So yeah, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Happy knitting, and I will be back probably next Friday. And also let me know if this is a better picture on my phone as opposed to my laptop. I don't know. I'm not very fancy, but hopefully this is a better picture and you're able to see colors a little bit better. I don't know. Okay, have a great weekend, everybody. Stay warm if you're in Canada.